All right, this is hopefully the final sample, the final tutorial on your stock market sheet, your stock market performance sheet. I'm going to show you how to make a chart in Google. There's some parts to it that are a little bit challenging, and it's helpful to be able to see it. So I'm going to show you the investment totals. That's where I'm going to go with this guy. I'm going to show you the totals, show you how to make the sheet. You can re-watch this, and the steps are the same for the individual ones. So when you're doing your chart for Snapchat, Snapchat, for your first company or second, third, the steps are the same. You just change the text a little bit. So, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do the totals here. Um, like the instructions on the page show you, first thing you do is you highlight that line. So once again, I'm going to show you, I click down on the first one and I hold down the button and I drag all the way through the last date. So once you have that highlighted, you go up to Insert, you go to Chart, and it's gonna, Google always tries to be smarter than you. It's gonna go ahead and use the chart type that it thinks is most fitting. And in fact, a bar graph is most fitting for this data. And the way it's got it set up right now, it's put in the actual prices for where it goes, and it just goes ahead and gives the gives colors to these different guys over here. So we have to give it a little bit more information. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go ahead and click on the Customize section right here. And let's see. I like to play around with it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make mine 3D because I just think that looks cooler. So that's the chart style. You can play around with some of these different things. Maximize just makes it bigger. I'm not even sure what compare mode does, but you can change the font here if you want to. That's not a problem. But ultimately, this one right here is just for the way it looks. This one is important, however. So gives you a couple different options here. First of all, we're going to go to the chart title. I'm going to give it a title right here. I've already forgotten what this is actually supposed to be, so I'm going to take a quick peek here. This is overall investment results. So I'm just going to copy and paste. I'm going to be a cheater. Go Control C, and then come over here and go Control V. So there it goes. See, it puts it right in there for you. All right, so now you have a chart title. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to name the different axes. So first I'm going to go to the horizontal title. That's horizontal, it's across, that's horizon. And this is the most useful one here because it's the one that we have the least information. So I'm going to call this one date. And it will go on ahead, and notice it just put the date in there. Now that's a little bit, it'd be nicer if I could go ahead and actually have the individual dates in here, but for our purposes, we don't need to be that specific. And then on the vertical axis, we could go ahead and write investment, but here's the thing. We already see that the money, that this guy over here is money, so I'm going to be a little bit creative here. I'm going to write my monies. And there we go. So now we know that over here this represents my monies, and down here this represents the date. All right, and what this does is it just breaks it down and it shows us how much we made over the entire period of the investment. So that's that. That's how you make that chart. Again, you can watch this over and over if you need to see where all those things are. Last thing is you click this guy and you drag it to the bottom of your info right there and you leave it. And that's the first chart. You're going to do the same thing, like the instructions say, with each of these different guys, and you're going to have similar charts for all of them. So congratulations, you are pretty close to done with this assignment.